Ada from Poison Rock, and today we give a huge welcome back to Brad Miller from Grief Collector. How are you, Brad? It's been a
I'm very good,
while.
thank you. It's been a long time. It seems like
Yeah,
many, many years, but
yeah, but it was
yeah,
1 year and a half, almost 2 years ago. And this is
yeah,
our third interview, I guess. Yeah, third interview. So we have an up. It's like an updating interview. So first of all, I want to ask you, what did you up to in all these 1.5 years? What happened apart of the new album release they were going to talk in a while?
yeah. Ever since we released End Delirium, our last album,
Yeah.
we really started writing after we
Okay.
got done writing that album. So we didn't really take a lot of time off.
So
But then
let's,
again, a lot of things have happened since then
yeah.
that kind of changed and altered our path on
Okay.
where things were and how long it took and stuff of that nature. But yeah, so we spent our time writing and kind of focusing
I-
and kind of seeing where we wanted to end up and what really
Okay.
what we were trying to do, I guess, because
Okay.
we've had a lot of changes within
Yeah, yeah, in the
the
band as
band
well.
and
Yeah, like the new singer that joined the band introduced the new singer. Let's introduce the new singer, and how did you meet him? So just to talk about him as well, because I heard I saw some of his video where he's singing, and it's really amazing voice,
yeah.
and it's an amazing singer, and it's you can see I can at least for myself from my side can see perfectly that is fitting with you, that feeling as well, like the puzzle when you complete. It's really a good feeling for by
Oh,
my
absolutely.
side. Then you can speak but
Yeah.
I mean
I
better from your side.
Yeah, I mean, after we had parted ways with Rob, we were kind of not
Yeah.
really sure, we weren't really looking or we weren't really sure what we were going to do in all honesty. But one day I came across a video of Julian, who's our new
Julian.
singer, on Facebook on a Nevermore tribute page.
Okay.
And he was doing a Nevermore song in which I'm a huge Nevermore Sanctuary War Dane fan and have been for a long time.
Mm.
So I just clicked on it and listened to him sing, and I was literally like,
Capture.
"That's the guy."
That's
And so I sent the link to Matt, and he listened to it. And Matt's also a big
mm,
World Dane Nevermore fan. And I just told Matt, I said, I think I'm just going to reach out to this guy
yeah.
and see if he's interested and send him one
Mm.
of our new songs and see what he thinks. And the funniest thing is, Julian already had heard of us because
Really?
Julian lives in Germany.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. The huge word. I mean,
yeah,
different is
very
I think
different.
it's
So
closer to it.
um, yeah, it's very, very different. So we sent him one of our songs and he was very interested in it. And right away sent it back some demo tracks, and
Okay.
I just knew that was the guy. There was no question in my mind. We did some other tryouts with some really good singers locally and some other
Okay.
people. It just didn't really have the same feel
Yeah.
that I wanted for Grief Collector, and I think
Because
Julian really just he's very talented. He's
yeah.
a good guitar player. He's very good at just arranging things. So
Yeah.
it fits really well for what we're doing, and I think it kind of brings us to a new level.
Okay.
Um,
So like we can say more definition of the sound of with collector, like mainly like a kind of maturity of the sound itself compared to the
yeah,
previous work.
yeah. I mean, I think it just gives us, I think Julian's a little bit more versatile
Okay.
vocally.
Okay.
I think we have some kind of growls on this album, a little bit of tinges of death metal here and there.
There is a change
Um,
of sound then as well going on in this new album.
well, we never really want to rule out
Okay.
something, we always want to be open to um
Mm,
something that might sound good for one of our songs,
yeah.
because we've never been like a traditional doom metal band
No, no,
or
no, no.
so we kind of just do what we like, and even with our first two releases, I think we just kind of you know, we had Rob in the band, so we kind of knew what we
Yeah.
probably should try to stick to, but
And maybe that was a little bit the imprint, you know, with and like Rob being himself like a legend of doom metal, maybe just give more the print to the band of that. And maybe now you're more like
right.
not that Rob was keeping in a cage, of course not, but of course now maybe there's more like you were saying, being versatile, not only for because of the new singer, but maybe as well for each one of you in the composing, I guess. I think, I mean, it could be that.
Yeah. I think he just, you know, Julian just brings a new element
Okay.
to
Yeah.
you know, to what we are, and his harmonies are just ridiculously good. It's just a different you know, it's just a different version. It's a different
Okay.
chapter, and you know,
Okay.
we're super happy to do this, and I think people will be pretty astounded by
That
the
to
new
see
album.
the new album, yeah.
It's very heavy,
That
very
yeah.
heavy forward, you know, and
That you tell me that it's gonna be released in a week by now.
I'm more hoping. I mean, it's going to be shortly. I don't want to say a week and then it doesn't come out, and then people.
No, but
but
wait.
we will be.
Yeah, just let's say it's
But we
gonna
will
be. Yeah, sorry. Go.
We will be releasing our first single here within the week, though.
Okay,
sure.
okay. So
but the album will follow very soon.
Okay, so let's say around this month, beginning of the next. Like I said, it's before summer we will see the album.
I would say within the next week or two.
Okay, that's really cool, because of course, I mean, that the beginning from Dissension to Annual, which was really the first EP that I listened to, and that was our first interview was about. We're doing an interview for each release. Of course, there was like speaking about the topic is really deep and profound in your music. That is changed in the new album, or you stay true to that type of topic and like deepness and consciousness, and I don't want to say depression, but like looking for the inner self person, like this journey to the inner self of the human being.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty straightforward when I write lyrics.
Okay.
You know, which I did write again for this album too. So I wrote the lyrics for all 3 albums, and it's just kind of what's worked for the band. But I mean, this album, I mean, it's called In Times of Woe. You know, and of course, I think everybody can relate to that. As far as, you know, I think it really kind of came about, obviously, when, you know, when COVID hit, and it kind of just, you know, there was this very uneasy kind of feeling that just kind of, you know, permeated everything that really was the world, at least in my eyes.
And as well changed.
So you know, a lot of the songs are just based on
you have
you know,
the track
certain feelings that I had, you know.
Because if I'm not wrong, because you share the song titles on the Facebook page, and I'm just reading to the name, like Tombs of Tomorrow of Lamentus, are all, of course, deep and important title track. And in all this, speaking, of course, always about to the topic, there's some topic that you had maybe, I don't know, more was difficult or harsh for you to write about it, maybe because we're touching more, I don't know, in a deeper level or more personally.
I mean, I really, you know, and it sounds pretty silly, but I mean, I think I really, you know, I take pride in you know, the songs. None of them are like made up things, really. You know, there's no fantasy stuff or, you know, swords.
That's what I like about Grief Collect. Yeah, no, please. I don't like.
You know, so I mean, it's a lot of it's personal for me, and just you know, it's things that I've gone through, or things that I'm going through, or something that you know, somebody I know may have gone through, and I try to put myself in their shoes. But everything that we've ever done has been on a personal level, just because I think that really makes it a deeper impact when the songs come out. So I mean, like, so Tombs of Tomorrow will be the first track that'll be released.
Tombs of Tomorrow, so will be the first track. Okay.
Yeah, and that's, you know, for me, that's just kind of like, you
what
know,
was the main inspiration of the song? Which was the main?
Well, you know, people always say, you know, you just kind of like living for the day because tomorrow may not come. So, I
Yeah,
think
exactly.
people always hope that tomorrow will be there.
Yeah,
And I feel like, I felt, you're locked in that tomb to where you don't believe that tomorrow could be, um, could never show up.
yeah,
And a lot of times for people, it doesn't. And
exactly.
so it's really about trying to live in the moment of
Kind of carpe
where
diem.
you are and live in a space to where that day is as important as any other day that you live, and
Exactly.
don't be locked in a tomb for tomorrow because tomorrow may not ever arrive. So that's kind of the
Yeah,
basis.
and then that's important, especially like because as we mentioned before, even if all the time we said maybe okay, just let's forget about when COVID hit because just forget it, it's gone. Okay, it's gone, maybe whatever. But it always has been. It was a period that we were living like basically in a kind of a tomb because we were waiting what was going. There will be a tomorrow where we'll be out of the lockdown. There will be a tomorrow where we'll be able to go to play again or to I don't know being a festival. Like, we were just like waiting. So that's it, I think. But not only for that, but I think for it's really everyone can rely in the type of title track in this type of lyrics because it's what actually we go every day. I mean, we
Absolutely.
always
Yeah.
concerned about the future, and that's what I say all the time as well. Just we are here today. I'm having an interview to you with you. I'm not thinking about tomorrow, even if it's already tomorrow, almost here, almost. So I'm not thinking about
Right.
tomorrow. So I'm
Right.
just so living in the moment. Yeah, and there is some song as well. Always lyrically speaking, that really
Sure.
you think is catch more the sound, not the sound, more the topic of the band of Grief Collector. So Grief Collector main topic is Samson, for example.
You know, I never really can pigeonhole like a
Okay,
certain song, whatever. I mean, I think Grief Collector has many facets of,
okay,
some songs are a little bit more slower, and it has
oh,
it kind of fits to what that song is about. And, we do have some kind of heavier up tempo songs that kind of march through. And I mean, there's one of the songs has a pretty fast ending with the drums, which we've never done before. And
that's a new.
almost has like a black metal kind of
Oh,
feel at the very ending.
please
So
don't wear fast painting on stage.
yeah,
Please don't.
but so I don't think anything really is like our trademark song, but
Okay.
I think for me, listening to albums, we really want to go on a journey, and I think that's
Yeah,
really
journey.
an important thing for me as musicians to take the listener on a journey from
Exactly.
different emotions and up and down and all that stuff. So I think we really tried to do that, and I think Julian really conveyed that
With the
vocally. And
vocally, yeah.
I mean, it's pretty amazing. And when I listen to it even now, and obviously I'm biased, but
That's
um
good.
it's gonna be good. I'm really hope that people can see outside of what we've done before and not just say, well, you
No,
know,
I think, I mean, people just keep on following you like fans since the beginning until today. So they're still, I mean, I'm on the page, so I'm seeing even the comments. So there are people
yeah,
following and waiting. Is it?
right,
I'm showing that where I took the permit. So they are in front of my eyes. So people are waiting and looking for it.
sure,
But of course, speaking about the sound and from a more a technical point of view. So compared, like we said before, to the other works, which the new album is different. In which way is different? Like you said, for example, in a song you added that song ended with a drum in a way that you never did before, for example. So in this type of way, what is different in this album?
well, I mean, I think when we first started writing the album, we knew that we don't want to keep writing the same album
Okay.
over and over. And I think we had mixed reviews on In Delirium. I think people were thinking that we just tried to do too much and we tried to do whatever. But I don't. That was never our intention. But as a musician, you never want to just keep writing the same songs over
Songs
and
like
over.
in a
So
loop, yeah.
it's kind of a catch-22 as a musician to you know expand and grow, and
Yeah,
then not alienate what people want to
yeah.
hear. So I think this album just, it's very expansive. And I think a lot of that has to do with Julian,
It
because
has,
I think Julian has so much diversity to where, even if we played something that we thought was just a basic song
yeah,
or something, that his vocals, I think, totally changed the feel
yeah.
of everything. And he's super emotional. And he's just, he brought a new life to what we thought might be dead, really, because after with the split, we weren't really sure if we wanted to do it anymore. And would people accept the fact that we do have a new singer, because sometimes they just, it's like,
Like
it's
Griff
hard to say.
Collector, yeah, but Griff Collector or Griff Collector, they are not defined by who's playing or who's not playing there. It's just, I think, all the sound that came out at the end. That's what a band is, not who
Yeah,
is in the band. Of course, it's important who is in the band, but I think Mel is what the sound is outside, what emotion the music can brings you. Of course, if someone is really like, I don't know, you can hate that person, but it doesn't matter because you capture the feelings of
yeah.
the people. And how did you work with Julian? I mean, being in Germany, being in United States is not easy. So you work like, so how was all the backstage of like writing and composing and recording and mastering the album?
Well, I mean, the album, Matt and I wrote all the songs before
Okay, okay,
we even knew Julian. The song, the album was done, written.
okay,
Um, so, and then I had just started writing all the words again, and just, that's just kind of our process.
okay.
We never wanted to say, well, we're gonna wait till we have a singer to do anything.
Yeah,
We knew that we were gonna write an album
and you did
regardless of
it.
what we did with
That,
it. So
that's
when we did find Julian, I mean, it actually was pretty easy. I mean, Julian, once again, is a great musician, and so he's he knows what he's doing.
what
Like
is it? Yeah,
I give him something, and say, this is where I want this to be sung and blah, blah, blah.
yeah.
He knows. I mean, he's a professional. He knows.
So,
So it was pretty easy. We would just send him one song, and
okay,
I would send him the lyrics, and then we would say, this is where we want the verse, and this is where we want the chorus. And then
okay.
he would just send some stuff back to us, and we would, say we like that or we don't like that.
So that, like,
Um,
okay. So,
it
but
actually came to,
you never met still today, like,
no,
okay,
no, we've never met. We've Skyped and Zoomed,
yeah,
Facebook,
of
whatever.
course.
But we've never met. Things
But it
aren't really that easy, especially with that
no,
distance. But I mean, we made it work, and I mean, I couldn't be
that's
happier with
amazing.
what it sounds like. So,
Yeah, and I
um,
like the no, I don't want to say the perseverance, but the determination you had with Matt. Like we met the album, and then it's like fate, like destiny. You wanted to do the album no matter what, and then you find a singer that with his voice just put it what was missing to the album, basically.
yeah, I
Just
mean, Matt's always a good cheerleader when it comes to,
like let's
you know, uh,
yeah, she has the pompon. Yes.
well, yeah, I mean, because I mean, after the split with Rob, I really wasn't even
Yeah.
sure if I even wanted to do another album, or, I just thought, well, that was fun. Well,
No, it's a good plan.
so, and that's
It's
kind of
good,
that's
but
kind of where I was for a while. And Matt just, Matt is he's totally opposite of me. He has a little bit more positivity when it comes to things,
yeah,
and I tend to dwell on a lot
being
of
more like realistic.
negative
Yeah,
things. And
there is a
so he's,
balance. There is a balance.
oh, absolutely, there's a yin and yang thing there
Yeah,
for sure. So, he basically just said to me, we've written two amazing albums, and we've gotten some
indeed.
really good, feedback on it. We've gained a lot of fans that we never thought we would have.
Yeah, exactly.
And people still, are interested in what we're doing. And he just said, I don't think it makes sense to not keep going.
Yeah, of course, because
Um,
especially I think one of the good, we can say, point of view of having an European musician that it can be huge. It can be, like I can say, better to spreading the music as well in Europe. That's like a
right, right.
good point of view because I don't know, maybe you want to rehearse in Europe and then you want to rehearse in America, so there is like an exchange. That's I mean, I saw, but I think that nowadays a lot of band are doing that. They've I don't know, I know a musician, she's from I know musician, she's a huge musician from LA. I don't know, she recorded in Poland. Her guitarist is from Portugal/Brazil. So basically they brought an album like this. Now they're playing in Mexico. They're shooting in video clips like that. So it doesn't matter. Like, I mean, it's important, of course, we are, so I think you know better than me being a musician, but being in this era give us a little bit of this kind of advance. And you're thinking as well to I don't know, like for example, putting out video clips about some songs of this new album. Like I don't say mean like tomorrow, but there is an idea you talk about it with the band of doing some video clips.
I mean, so we have a lyric video coming out,
Okay.
you know, like I said, within about a week.
Okay.
You know, we're looking at maybe doing like an actual like music video of some sort. I'm not really sure how we would do that, but we're, you know, we want to have it visually stimulating as well as other things for the viewers and for the fans and for us. I mean, I'm a music fan, so I like seeing the band and I like seeing
what they're doing,
you know, they express themselves and stuff. So that's important to me. So we have a lot of things in the work, but you know, the first thing is just seeing what people think of the album and kind of go from there.
But you get some, for example, proposal about lives, playing lives. I'm not saying like now, but even in the, I don't know, even in 2024, I just don't know, just you thought about it as well.
Well, I mean, we always think about it, you know, and then we read about all these awful scenarios that, you know, some of these national bands are, you know, can't even make these tours happen because it's just financially not.
There was a tornado, if I'm not wrong, some days ago. Yeah, that hit Morbid Angel gigs, if I'm not wrong. That was horrible. Yeah, so I mean, I'm not speaking about that, but I mean, United States I think it's a little bit easier doing a tour than you. Even if it's you can do it. You know, it's not. I mean, as well, the people I think I get more, you know, like in the venues, there are more venues here. Europe, I think, works better with festival maybe because we have a lot of too many festivals. Too many festivals we have in Europe. Too many.
Yeah, we don't have many. We don't have many at all.
Keep it one.
Yeah. Give us some of those. We'll take some of those. But I think, you know, Grief Collector has a pretty good following, you know, overseas and in Europe and stuff like that, more than the United States.
Yeah,
I mean, at least that's
in Poison Rock, there was one huge fan of you, if you remember. One of the first person that he was really huge fan of you, Domenico, was really super fan of Grief Collector. That all around the Sicily you went to spread the music. So at least in Sicily, for my side, there is, because thanks to him, he did it all the time. Was all the time that he was the one introduced to me, like to you at the beginning.
Right.
In 2019, 2020. I forgot it. Oh, it's a long time ago. So
the first album came out in 2019.
Yeah, and it's amazing. I mean, all this work that you're doing, and like you were saying about the playing live, I really hope that with Julian, you will have the chance to be in Europe. Of course, you will have it, and maybe the fourth interview we can do it in presence with all the bands. It would be 10 times better.
Right.
But of course, since of course the people that watch the interview maybe could be the first time. Of course, I just always say there is always another interview if you want to catch up all this full story of the band as well. If you want to catch up as well the influences. But as well, it's good to say it as well in the current interview. So for example, let's make a step back. Just the beginning of Grief Collector, just how you and Matt decided to just came out with this idea, just really shortly, because of course we had all the full bio in the previous interview.
Sure. I mean, like I've said in many interviews before, you know, I wanted to write an album, but I didn't want to be in a band. I mean, that was really the ultimate thing. So, because I came out of a band and it broke up, and I was just tired of dealing with a bunch of people. Like, you know, it's hard to get a lot of people to agree on the same thing and stuff. So I knew Matt from some other things that we had done, nothing major, but I know that he's a talented guitar player and you know, had his own studio in his basement. So I just asked him, I said, hey, would you be interested in just writing an album? You know, you can play the guitar and the bass and, I'll play the drums and I'll just write all the words and let's see
Yeah.
maybe if we can find a singer. And so we just wrote that in the basement of my apartment one day, and we had it all written, and I just didn't know who should sing on it. And then, like I said in other interviews, I
Yeah.
just realized I was friends with Robert and
Yeah, that happened.
contacted him, and he said that he would do it. And that's
How the Grief Collector started. And of course, I mean, mainly you're as a drummer. I don't know if I ever asked you about that. As a drummer, who were and how your mainly influences as drummer? So like influence you, like you. I don't want to say you in the way you play, because I think it's always personal how you mature your way of playing during the years. But at least if you had some drummer that you like, I don't know, hero drummer. I don't know. We say guitar hero, so I don't know if it's the same for drummer, like drummer hero, if it is the same or not.
Well, growing up, I was, the biggest Kiss fan in the world.
Okay.
I loved Kiss, still love Kiss. So, when I started listening to it, I mean, Peter Criss was a somewhat of an influence. Their original drummer, but for me, because of my age, their second drummer, Eric Carr, who came in, late 70s.
Yeah.
That to me was probably the biggest influence on me.
Yeah.
Just because I was such a big Kiss fan, and when he came into the band, he really just brought a bigger, heavier sound to the band, and he was just super, and he was just super cool.
Yeah.
Like, we see these interviews and stuff, and he was just so down to earth, and he would talk to the fans, and he's totally opposite of the other members, and which I really just hooked on. And so I was so devastated when he passed away in 91 on the same day that Freddie Mercury died, the exact same day.
Oh my God, that's a horrible coincidence.
Yeah, so I would say Eric Carr for me is probably one of the biggest influences. Drumming wise. I wouldn't say I play like him or anything, but he really made me want to play drums, and really made it look like it. It made it really look like it was something exciting, and just it was just that larger than life thing, and that I wanted that.
Yeah, and of course my usual question, because usually this question can change over the year, like the famous Fave album that influenced you. Maybe we can say in the last 3 years, because always change, because of course they can never be the same. So let's change it. Just put it as the same. It's always nice to hear the influences. It's the best way to understand as well, because if I'm a fan of you and I want to know you better, maybe I'm going to listen to one of the 5 albums you just said.
Well, for me, I don't listen to a lot of new stuff, I guess.
Okay. I mean, even old stuff that maybe came in your hand and actually, and you just listen after a long time. I don't know.
Well, there's a band I'm really into a band called Chemists. And I believe they're from Colorado, if I'm not mistaken. Hopefully I'm not wrong on that. But I really like them. I really like a band called Bone Church.
Bone Church.
And they're from the United States too. They're very Black Sabbath-y.
Very. I'm gonna look for them.
They're one of my favorites. They're very bluesy metal.
Okay.
And then there's, I don't know, can we swear on here? Or?
Can we? Yeah, you can just stop it if you don't have any. Just it's just 5. It can be 2, 3, 4. Just you can say any you want.
Well, there's a band called Funeral Fuck.
Okay, you can just say it. It's not a problem. I don't think we can banned.
They're from Germany, and they're doom metal, and I just love them so much. They're so good.
Okay.
So I would say those 3 bands are kind of really big on my playlist. I really like Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats.
Okay.
They opened up for King Diamond a few years back that I saw, and they're just so like 70s fuzzy doom. Yeah. It's amazing. Yeah. So I would say those are kind of my newer influences.
That's I mean, that's beautiful seeing like musician with your experience. I don't let's say in the doom words of music, because for example there is an amazing band that I'm gonna link you, because they are from Canada, called Ethereal Tomb. Of course they are doom a little bit more maybe extreme, so I don't want to say that reminds me a little bit the early Possessed sound, but with the doom. and they are really nice. Nice because they are young. They take inspiration to the music of the Native Americans, or this topic, which is really important, and they're really nice. And I think if they kind of take inspiration as well from your music, because they're new. One of them is in Poison Rock as well, but they are really nice. I'm gonna link you because it's a good to see how this genre is not stopped, like in I don't know, with Candlemas, with this big band, but it's moving forward, and as well is kind of having some changes as well for like people that never listen to, with this, like you said, more some face shades or some facets. That's
Sure.
I think, really important. And your band, I think Grief Collector today are the band that is having this kind of maybe it's like having it too much, like can I say, like I don't want to say the crown, but the biggest band at the moment, having this at least as far as I know. So having this yeah, I mean, I know you since like 4 years, so by now, and in 4 years by now, you're the only band that I've met that put really so much effort in the music as well. And
yeah, I mean, I definitely think it's important to us to write good albums and continue, and not just put out music just to put it out, and try to be relevant. I think being honest in what you are and true to what you want to do is important.
Exactly.
So hopefully people will hear that on the new album and kind of follow us on the new chapter, because
of course
we really put a lot of heart into this one, and it's really for us an important album. So
and of course just as soon as the first single will be out, Tombs of Tomorrow, I'm gonna immediately put it on Poison Rock. So just let's share it everywhere, because it's important to let people know the Grief Collector here with you can say a new chapter, maybe another chapter, not a new, another chapter of the music career, which is important. And I'm really looking forward to listen to this new music, new songs, because your music is deep, and when you're facing tough, and I say as well shit as well, it's gonna catch in the deep. So gonna say thank you, Brad, as always, for being always true, honest, and humble at the same time. Since I know you, you always be one of the first musicians I interviewed, maybe the first. Yeah, at the beginning we're the first, because we did once an interview, we were 4, remember, like all cut. Oh my god, that was terrible, that interview. There was my head, the other part of my head, Robert was another part. It was terrible, that interview. I just laugh about it, but it was just when you have fun, just, and as well talk about and spread as well music, and especially I don't want to say the verb, but the message of your music to the fan and the people. That's what is the most important thing. So I wish you good luck for the album. And if there's a message or something that you want to say to people out there, I don't know, just leave the word. Or if not, just say bye, it's the same.
Well, all I can say is, we thank everybody for, sticking with the band, and, always being honest with their opinions on, what we're doing. And we always take those to heart, and we always can understand what people, think about certain things. And so we, ultimately we're happy that people still follow us and still find us relevant. And, we hope that people...
You find the right word, relevant. That's what I was looking for before. Thank you.
Yeah, we just hope people like the new album, and I have no doubts that they will. But it's definitely going to be a change for them to hear where we are now compared to where we were. We still have that base, but I think we really have found a new chapter, like you said, and a new voice within the band that we're very happy, and I wouldn't change anything for the world.
So my congratulations then. My congrats for that, for everything that is happening. And like I said, we just keep updated and posted for all the editing and the process. That's gonna, and good luck and looking forward. So it's gonna be out in a couple of days tomorrow. I'm gonna just looking immediately for it when it's gonna be out. Thank you, Brad, as always. And next interview, let's try to do it in person, because it's always better. We just always, I mean, it's June because it's far away, but if there is some live, I'm gonna be there, and let's do it. Thank
That
you so
sounds great
much.
to me.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you for your time
Adolfo.
again.
It's always a pleasure, you know that. Thank you so much. Have a good rest of the day. Bye, Brett. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.